The fighting game community does not hate gooner games. What it hates is being seen as a gooner. Because if the FGC actually hated sexualization, then the entire landscape of fighting games, from how they are marketed to how they are perceived, will be different. Players wouldn't be selectively mad, and they definitely wouldn't be shocked every time that people react exactly the way games are designed to make them react. Cartel, my people, my babies, my dogs, what's going on with y'all boys, man? Y'all already know what time it is, man. It's your boy Golden Ghost, and welcome back to the Golden Ghost Cartel. And today I want to talk about why the FGC pretends it hates horny games, the double standard of the FGC and its respectability politics, the gooner hypocrisy of the FGC, if you will, and how that pretense creates some of the biggest double standards in the entire genre. But first, Golden Ghost Cartel. Publicly, the FGC likes to tell us a very specific story about itself. What do you think of when it comes to the FGC in general, man? High level competition, legacy franchises, mechanical depth, serious design, Meanwhile, the whole gooner aspect is normally treated as something like a unfortunate side effect, or something that only other video games lean into, right? This is a part of the community's respectability politics that I was talking about earlier. If you actually look at how people talk, post, and react online, and especially Twitter, bro, this story just falls apart instantly. In fact, you can say in a lot of ways that the FGC actively participate in the gooning, celebrates it, and amplifies it. They just do it selectively. Honestly, this is also just something that I just never understood, because by the new definition that the internet came up with for the term goon, being horny, wanting to crack somebody like an egg, spanking the beef, whatever you want to call it, literally everyone has gooned at some point in their life, bro. Like, let's use some common sense here. Think about the people that you touch every day. I'm talking like handshake, grab your clothes, grab their items, etc. There's no telling what those clothes or items that don't belong to you that you've touched. There's no telling what they go through when they go back to these private spaces. And I can promise you that at least 80% of the hands that you've touched in your lifetime have grabbed a slab of the beefcake at some point, bro. Everyone gets horny, everyone goons. It's in the human DNA to do these things, to make more children and preserve our species. What essentially I'm saying is that this should not and should never have been a big deal, even for games, especially if nobody's out here committing crimes. If they are out here committing crimes with their gooning and stuff like that, then that's a completely different story. But overall, it's only a big deal because the FGC makes it a big deal. And yet, on that same token, they're so selective about what they do and don't want to be a big deal in this regard. And that doesn't just go for the games, that goes for the same dudes in the community, man. Tekken is arguably in the worst it's ever been, and it's still miles better than that version gooner game. Very interesting take, sir. Very interesting take. Hey, real quick, bro, is this you? Oh, I ain't done. I can do you one better, bro. Is this you?
Nigga, you ain't funny.
I'm sorry, bro. You got a lot of nerve to be talking about a virgin gooner game. You're out here moving like a tier 4 Twitch sub to Pokemon, bro. Please get it together. As a DOA player, I have the displeasure of dealing with this blatant hypocrisy time and time again, since DOA in a lot of ways are unapologetically horned out, even to a fault, depending on some people who you ask in the community. But the issue is the way people who attack DOA who aren't a part of this community and who don't play the game. DOA is for virgin gooners, glorified goon simulator. Or my favorite, why play this when you can play the superior fighting game, Tekken? And when you push back, the conversation ends with, well, DOA has extreme games, DOA had core values, and despite how you can explain these things away, like the fighting game and the extreme games are two separate entities under the same IP, and core values was a product of miscommunication and bad marketing, which caused someone who already hated DOA to begin with have a valid reason to remove it from EVO. I could even show Tekken players their own spin-off game that they haven't played and never talked about, Death by Degrees, where you're fighting with Nina in a bikini in the tutorial with the most abysmal single player game controls you can imagine.
And Death by Degrees is a fucking money name, man. Like any Jean-Claude or Steven Seagal movie could have been called that. It's always better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. Why is she wearing high heels suddenly? Why would you be wearing high heels? I hate when you go to an all-inclusive resort and they just have random battles start. Okay, is this gonna be my tutorial fight? I guess so. To attack. Oh no. Now I see. It's a stick-based fighting game. Try attacking the direction shown by the arrow. Oh no. To guard, tap R towards the enemy? Quick tap the same stick as attack? No. Quick tap to evade in that direction. Try evade in the direction. Oh, you have to flick the sticks. You can't just press them normally. I know why it bad now, the game. I know why it bad.
And by all intents and purposes, you could say, if you want to get technical, if DOA is considered a gooning game and nothing more because the extreme games exist, then Tekken's a single player designed action-packed mess that technically shouldn't exist, that also has gooned out aspects sprinkled in between, bro. Now, Tekken players, answer me a question. Did I just describe Death by Degrees, or did I just describe Tekken 8 Season 2? Explaining away these misconceptions aren't the problem. It's the fact that the people who need to hear this, they already have their minds made up before you can even form a single sentence. Your takes don't matter at this point to these people. But here's the crazy thing about it. These arguments exist to protect every other fighting game more than it is to critique DOA. Nobody complains about gooning when it's seen as irony or a meme, especially when it's attached to what I'll call protected franchises. But when it becomes too visible or too honest, it somehow becomes a problem. DOA doesn't fit that respectable image that the FGC wants it to be. Therefore, it becomes a target to point the finger at of what not to be. A perfect dumping ground for everyone's discomfort. This double standard doesn't just end with DOA. It also happens inside other fighting games, bro. Let's go back to Tekken again for a perfect example. When a new DLC character like Mari Zo gets introduced, everybody immediately calls her a gooner bait character. Gooner bait character, stripper pole, all type of stuff. But at the same time, how could we ignore the way that they treated Armor King when he came out? Off the gristle, they was coming out with mods making this man's man boobs bounce. Boobies. This is normal as hell. Good muscles, right? Normal thing. Yeah, bro muscular, bro swole. He built like a JoJo character.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! My whole life is changed since you came in. I knew back then you were that special.
Bro, I don't even know what I'm looking at right here.
Put that dick in my motherfucking throat! I wanna lick the balls!
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
Bruh, what is even going on? Tucks you in and kisses you goodnight. Armor King makes sure it pokes out of your stomach.
Hell no!
This dick is big. I know it. I know it's big. I mean, oh god, my heart hurts.
They even took bro meme and fucking blanked it out just for him. You would think it would not be this deep, but apparently it's that deep. Quotes after quotes of how they got this character to do things that I don't even know if I could show some of these things on YouTube, bro. King gets a BBC mod, bro. You got main man Sweet staring at Kazuya chest for minutes at a time.
This is where first time I saw this, I just held on this bicep shot. And then I saw the abs here and I was like, I started licking my lips. And I stayed here for about, I don't want to reveal the actual time. It's embarrassing. And wait, and this shot. Oh my god.
Don't like that? I'll do you one better. On Street Fighter, everyone jumped down a guy's throat for having a naked Chun-Li mod in a tournament, bro. But meanwhile, male characters get nude mods and get responses talking about thank you for the meal. Don't like that? I'll do you one better. Mortal Kombat 1 had all this drama over a katana bikini mod. Meanwhile, not even a month later, there were people thirsting over shirtless male character mods, and now in 2026 we got to a point where they got Kenshi just ass naked with his slab slinging around, bro, and nobody's made not a single critical word about it. I'm not gonna lie, that's literally all I can show without getting my fucking channel nuked. Don't like that? I'll do you one better. Maximilian compared DOA to Hooters, which, don't get me wrong, this man has said, I played DOA and I've been to Hooters. What's your point? When somebody else tried to call him out for this. But I don't know if you've been to a Hooters, bro, but I've been to a Hooters twice, and both times I've been there, the food was ass. So when I hear Hooters, the first thing I think of is all titties, no substance. You gotta acknowledge that. Even if he didn't mean it that way, that's a way they can definitely be perceived. Just for years later to be clip farming Chun-Li's City of the Wolves BBL. You know what? Upon further thought, Max, bro, I take it back, bro. That I'll be reacting the same way too, bro. That shit fat as hell. yo, that ass fat as fuck. The point is, the double standard, this goon hypocrisy is everywhere in the FGC. It's familiar to the FGC. Therefore, it's normalized in the FGC. If the problem were truly sexualization, then the reaction would be consistent all the way across the board, but it isn't. The sex appeal that aligns with the community's existing tastes, the sex appeal that matches legacy characters, doesn't threaten the game's image, those are the ones that gets reframed as humors, memes, and ironic thirst. But the sex appeal that might feel too obvious, comes from newer characters, or risks changing the vibe, that's the things that get labeled as gooner bait, gooner brain rot, or just too embarrassing to play. Same behavior, different social permission. So when people ask me stuff like whether or not DOA deserves this reputation, or what ways Tekken and Street Fighter are somehow different, I believe they're asking the wrong question. The real question is, why does the FGC need this distinction in the first place? Because if the community was actually opposed sexualization, it wouldn't celebrate thirst post one day, then condemn gooner bait the next day, or pretend that the difference is obvious when it clearly isn't. It's nothing more than a false moral standing to be on the line with the politics in place. The fighting game community doesn't hate gooner fighting games. It hates being confronted with how central the goon aspect already is to the genre. So instead of being honest about it, invisible lines are drawn. So that way they're able to choose which type of horny is acceptable and which one's embarrassing, which character is iconic and which one is just gooner bait. The same contradictions show up everywhere between franchises and within them. DOA's mistreatment versus the willful ignorance of the freaked out direction that gaming is just pointing towards in general. The whole pendulum on this is swinging, and just for whatever reason we're still having this conversation. Mary Zoe's discourse versus Armored King's discourse on Tekken, the character mod discourse across multiple fighting games. All these are just more patterns, more stripes on the exact same beast. I personally think that it's time to start being more honest, bro. It's 2026. If you like men, bro, if you don't like women, bro, just say that, bro. We just be honest. We don't judge you over here, man. In fact, I got more respect for this random guy that's in the Tekken Lounge than I do for a good portion of this community. If it ain't just a matter of men and you're just being hypocritical, then be honest, bro. I don't want you to be sorry, bro. I want you to be honest, and then I want you to be better, bro. Because pretending to hate games or pretending to hate characters because they got gooning in them, while also not playing it even across the board, it doesn't make the community seem more serious. It doesn't make me want to take the community more serious. It just makes the standards of the FGC harder to defend and easier for certain light-skinned black guys with dreadlocks like myself to call them out. That's all I got, man. Let me know how y'all feeling about this, and if y'all enjoyed this, don't forget to leave a like, comment, share with your friends, all that good stuff, man. And as always, subscribe for some more from the Golden Ghost Cartel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.